Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the books that I have checked out on my Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so I'm a big time Kindle Unlimited reader and I've been slumping a little bit, but I am currently reading a book that I originally found on Kindle Unlimited, and it's called To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. I'm reading a physical copy of it, but it just kind of inspired me. Hey, when was the last time that I shared the books that I have checked out on Kindle Unlimited? Because it's literally probably half of what I read. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post new videos. All my social media is linked down below in the description, including my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to click the like button and comment down below. Let me know if you've read any of these books and which one I should prioritize. So let's just get into this video because I generally have at least 15 books checked out. You can have 20 books checked out on Kindle Unlimited at a time. If you don't know what it is, it's a service where you can pay a monthly fee and basically read unlimitedly. And you can actually have a library. It's like kind of like a library card. Like you check out books, but you can constantly be swapping them out and you can have 20 books at a time in your Kindle library. So I have 18 books, I believe, checked out. So let's get into this list. The first book that I have checked out is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. This is a vampire romance and it's in the same world as her Nyaxia series, but it's a standalone that you can read completely out of order, like whenever you want to read it. And it's in this other series that a bunch of authors wrote books for. And I am really excited to read it for my Spelled by Romance book club. It's going to be our September pick. So I will be reading that book very soon. I don't know anything about it other than it is, I believe, an enemies to lovers paranormal romance. So the synopsis looks a little bit complicated, but I think that she was commanded to kill this vampire conqueror. And so I think this is going to be a really fun plot-driven book. I'm excited to get to it. Next I have Claimed by the Horde King by Zoe Draven. This is an alien romance series. This is the second book in this series. And this is a Dothraki inspired, I don't know if it's actually inspired, but it feels very Dothraki fan fiction. Technically it is alien, but these are Horde Kings. Each book follows a different Horde King. And yeah, this is the second book of the series. I don't know much about it, but I am excited to read it. We are buddy reading this series in the Hideaway Discord that me and Maggie run. And it says that she broke their laws and now he's come to punish her. So I think this is going to be kind of similar to the first book. There's humans on this planet of Jakar, and it looks like a girl kind of messes up and a Dakari Horde King comes and takes her. I'm excited because I adored the first book in the series. If you want to read along with us, we do have Discord threads going on for that buddy read. That one's going to be in September. Okay, next I have Glow by Raven Kennedy. This is the fourth book in the Plated Prisoner series. I cannot wait to get to this sequel. I've been waiting, but I think the time is here. I need to get to this as soon as possible because it's now been about 6 months since, maybe even longer, 7 months since I read the third book in this series. So I need to get to it because it's time. The fifth book is coming out in December. So if I read this now, it should still be plenty fresh in my mind for when the fifth book comes out in a few months. It's so crazy to say December's in a few months, but kind of is. If you don't know what that is, it's a King Midas retelling, fantasy romance, enemies to lovers. It's just really good. Check it out if you haven't already. Definitely a character-driven fantasy romance. Next, I have Flowers for the Devil by V. Kahani. This is a Russian historical romance, and I've heard really good things. Apparently, it's quite dark. Check your trigger warnings. And I was recommended this book by My Romance Has No Limits on Instagram. She said that this book was amazing, and especially that the audiobook was very good. Gothic vibes, dark historical romance. It's Russian. It's set in winter. It sounds like it's going to be all vibes, and I really, really am here for it. I think this is a little bit of a murder mystery too. It takes place surrounding a murder. I think that one's going to be really good to read when the weather gets a little bit cooler. Next, I have another fantasy romance, and this is The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle Jensen. Yes, this is still on my TBR. No, I have not read it. I need to. I need to. This is an enemies to lovers fantasy romance about this kingdom, or I guess it's like a couple of kingdoms, and there's like a lot of water and canals and ocean and rivers, I guess. And there's this really big important bridge that's really important for trade, I believe. And we have this heroine, and she's been raised to marry the prince of the Bridge Kingdom and been taught to believe that they are super evil, and so she's supposed to marry him and then assassinate him, I believe. And when she gets there, things aren't as she expected, and this is a, like I said, enemies to lovers fantasy romance. And I don't know anything else about that. It sounds like it's going to be a really good enemies to lovers. I love enemies to lovers. If you like enemies to lovers, I did do a collaboration recently with a bunch of fellow romance booktubers on hate to love, enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, those types of tropes, and we all gave a bunch of recommendations. So make sure to go ahead and check that playlist. I will have it linked down below. The next I have is another sequel. This is Seven Brides for Seven Alien Brothers, Benjar by Honey Phillips, and this is Benjar's book. This is a novella series. It's an alien romance series based on Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, I believe it. It's like a kind of like a classic, maybe. I don't know. I really liked the first book, and I'm excited for Benjar's story. There's a few different alien species, including humans, on this planet, and it's very like Western homestead, like people basically making a new life on this planet. There are these aliens. They're this like group of brothers. They were in like a war together, but they're all different alien species, part of this like alliance, but they're done with that now. They are set to live on this planet, and then there's this like human colony. These aliens basically decide to capture some of the women that they're interested in making their brides based on a story that the heroine told them in book one. They think it's just going to be a romantic gesture, and the way to go, just kidnap some of these women. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens through this series and watch the progress on their like farm. It's just fun. It's like farmy, country, homesteady on an alien planet with alien creatures, with romance and kind of ridiculousness. And they're novellas. They're really cute and fun. Next, I have a book I don't know much about. This is A Dead and Stormy Night by Stephanie Holmes. I think this is supposed to be a cozy fantasy romance or paranormal romance. It says book boyfriends may do it better, but they are more trouble than they're worth. After being fired from my dream fashion job, I return home to my village under a cloud of failure and take a job at the quaint Nevermore bookshop. I'm hoping for an easy few months while I get my life together, but this is no ordinary bookshop. A mysterious curse on Nevermore brings infamous fictional villains from classic literature to life in the real world. My easy job involves rescuing customers from 6'4" grumpy tattooed Heathcliff, drinking tea and evading the authorities with suave villain Moriarty, and making art with Edgar Allan Poe's shy, cheeky raven shifter Quoth. Yeah, that's just like the first half of the synopsis. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it sounds fun. I think this is going to be a really fun book to read in the fall. It's going to give quirky, cozy, paranormal, bookish vibes. It just sounds like it might be perfect for a fall read. Also, I forgot to mention, it looks like this is Why Choose. So that's going to be a fun one. I'm excited for that one. Next, I have Trick or Orc, another book that's going to be perfect in fall. I have a lot of stuff in here just to like, basically I'm ready for fall. And it's like, we're in the second half of August. It's almost September. These are here. They're ready to go. Like when it's time / if I want to get in the mood for the time. But anyway, so this is Trick or Orc. It's a monster romance novella. And it sounds like it's going to be a cozy monster romance that is Halloween themed. Looks like they work at a cafe called the Spiced Pumpkin. And there's ghostly goblins and a village festival and pumpkin patches. And I'm just noticing a ton of buzzwords for me and fall. And then we have an orc and it's a monster romance. Like, I can't. And it looks like it's a foodie romance. I'm sorry. This book was made for me. This book was, it was made for me. I will be reading that one very soon. That was the first of 3 orc romances I'm about to talk about. The next is Bound to an Orc, a monster romance. This is by Erin Rookwood, and this is, oh, cancel. I almost accidentally returned it. Okay. So this says he saved her life. Now he will claim his share. Ooh, okay. So this might be a captor situation. Elodie Blackspire and her cruel, cunning betrothed, Lord Galvis, embark on a dangerous mission to reclaim her father's throne and her family's honor. When the party is attacked by bandits wielding a strange and deadly power, an orc lord steps in to save Elodie's life, spilling his own blood to do so. And I believe this is a romance between them. That sounds like it's going to be a really fun, like, epic fantasy, but I don't think it's long. I think that's another novella. Okay, so this looks like it's a full-length novel, but just barely. It's 284 pages. And that sounds really good. Another kind of cool weather, high fantasy orc romance is Captured by the Orc General. This one definitely would be a captor-captive romance, and it is, it says, Royal Alchemist Kaith knows 2 things. Drinking tea made from steeped river hearts will cure almost everything. Never, ever, ever trust an orc. But she is looking for her missing brother, and she has to leave her court, and she finds herself in the heart of orcs territory while searching for her brother. And this looks to be a romance between her and an orc general, and I think it's going to be a good one. It looks good. The reviews are really good, and yeah. This one looks like a longer novella. It's 254 pages. My kids are not in the mood, apparently, for me to film, so we're going to try to go through this a little bit more quickly. The next I have is The Horsemen of Sleepy Hollow, an Immortal Warriors romance. It's a standalone romance by Rebecca F. Kenny, and it's a fantasy romance. Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman retelling, and I guess that's really all I need to know for that one. Super, super autumnal vibes. I'm hoping it's a bit spooky. I love the idea of like a spooky, paranormal, kind of creepy factor romance. I also have The Omega Merger by Roxy Collins. This I really like. I remember adding it because I was looking for some Omegaverse books to add to my Kindle Unlimited, but I don't know much about it. It just seemed to have pretty good reviews, to be fairly popular, and also it just sounded really good at the time. It says betas are made for business, not pleasure. We're intelligent, hardworking, and unlike alphas and omegas, we're not ruled by our hormones. But one day our heroine is triggered by a switch and she becomes an omega. So she's been a hidden omega this whole time. And so it goes from there. It looks like she needs to find her pack. And it says it's got sweet angst. It is billionaire bosses and super steamy. It looks really good. Okay, I have another alien romance here. This one's interesting. This dude has 4 arms. It's claimed by the alien warrior. I have been wanting to try some Tiffany Roberts for so long. It's actually a husband and wife author duo, which I think is so freaking cool. But this is an alien romance. It's a standalone from what I know. And I've heard it's really good. I think that Ava from Ava's Romance Reads really likes this one. And it looks like it says, an otherworldly warrior desperate to escape Earth, a curvy human female who is his only hope and his deepest desire. It just looked really good. The cover was cute. I love a plus size rep. And yeah, it's just, there's so many good Tiffany Roberts that I want to try. And I feel like I keep checking them out and just not getting to them. And I really, really want to. Ooh, I've got a sapphic one here. This is a vampire romance. And this is called Just My Type. And it's by Lucy Bexley and Bryce Oakley, and it's a sapphic vampire romance novella. It looks like there's this rare blood disease. Not sure. I think that the doctor who's trying to solve this blood disease, she might be human. I'm not sure. And then we do have a 2,000-year-old vampire female. This is going to be a bit gory. And it's a high stakes lesbian romance novella. So I have another orc one here. It's the orc from The Office. This is actually another one that I heard about from Ava, from Ava's Romance Books. And this one, it looks like they meet when our heroine has trouble with the copy machine at their office, which I'm sorry, that sounds super, super freaking cute for an orc monster romance. And there's like mate bonding in this. It says mate bonding with a coworker is against company policy, accidentally or not. And Kent from the IT department is a quiet and nerdy orc. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Okay. I love it. I already read, there was another orc romance that I read recently. I'll pop it up right here. But he was an orc with glasses and he was like a scientist and I was obsessed. Like, give me the nerdy orcs. I need the nerdy orcs. They give the Hulk vibes, but like the Hulk once he's like learned to be himself and wear his glasses as Hulk. Like those vibes. Or maybe like Beast from X-Men. Give it to me. Okay. Ice Planet Barbarian Mine. This is the 4th book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I don't know whose story it is, and that's fine. I'm just going to read the next one. I'd like to have the next one in this series in my Kindle for when I want to read it. This is a alien romance novella series set on this ice planet. These women have been abducted by these cruel aliens, but then basically stranded on this planet when something goes wrong with the ship. So those cruel aliens are gone and they're here with this other alien race who have basically settled on this planet after a crash landing like way, way long time ago. And so this is, yeah, this romance with these humans and these big blue aliens with some very interesting anatomy. Okay, the next one I have is The Midnight Bride by Katie Wild. This is the 2nd book in this series. This is a novella series, but I think that she's coming out with a full-length book soon here in this series, but it's a fantasy romance series. Each book follows a different couple, and I really enjoyed the first book, and that was The Midwinter Mail Order Bride, and this is The Midnight Bride. So I don't know much about it other than I'm looking forward to continuing on in the series because I did really enjoy that first book. It says to save her family from a tyrant king, Mara of Airmond must win a tournament. She won't let anyone stop her from claiming the prize. And then our hero is Strax. He's a barbarian warrior who has tormented her every step of the way. But a sorcerer's trap binds them together. So it sounds like there's some forced proximity. Okay. This sounds really good. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I love the idea of like a competition and then forced proximity and a barbarian. Like it sounds like a whole bunch of tropes that I am obsessed with. The next I have is, this is the final one, and it's Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. My good friend Tori, I'll have her channel link down below. She has recommended this book to me and says it's really good, really fun Halloween novella. And it's like a dark Halloween erotica kind of book. It says, after wandering into an alluring Halloween party that is said to go down in history, Quinn finds herself captivated by 3 masked men. So it's a why choose. And as she immerses herself in a night of both pleasure and pain, she finally has the perfect opportunity to bring her darkest fantasies to life or death. This is a dark romance suspense why choose novel, and it looks really, really good. Perfect for the spooky season. So there you have it. Those are my books that I currently have checked out in Kindle Unlimited. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you recommend any of these, or if there's any of these that you really want me to prioritize because you want to know my thoughts on them. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe if you have not already. All of my social media is linked down below in the description, including my Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.